بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome to Quran Study for Non-Muslims, where we attempt to understand the teachings of the Holy Book of Islam using an easy-to-follow approach that caters to non-Muslims or people with little or no previous knowledge of the Quran. So if you've been curious about Islam and the book that forms the basis of belief for over 1 billion people around the world, but never had the time to dig into it, you've come to the right place. Greetings of peace, everyone. Today we will be continuing our discussion on surah al-Fatihah, that is the chapter titled al-Fatihah, with the third verse of the chapter. This verse is quite short and reads, "The Gracious, the Merciful." As you may have guessed, there are two key words in this verse, Rahman, which has been translated as gracious, and Raheem, which has been translated as merciful. It is important to note that these two words are two of the 99 attributes of Allah, according to Islamic belief, and they are amongst the 4 primary attributes described in this chapter. The two being discussed here have been loosely translated as gracious and merciful, but their corresponding Arabic words, Rahman and Raheem, hold a lot of depth in their meanings. And so it is important to spend sufficient time to gain a better understanding of these attributes. The first thing to take note of is that this verse basically serves as a link between the attribute of Rabbul Alameen, the translation of which is Lord of all the worlds, and is found in the preceding verse and was discussed in the previous episode, and the attribute of Maliki Yawmiddin, which follows this verse and is something that we will discuss in a future episode. As mentioned in the previous episode, the phrase Lord of all the worlds also implies that after creating things, God leads them progressively to higher stages of development. In the words Rahman and Raheem occurring in the present verse, light is thrown on the process of that development. The word Rahman means that God not only provides all the necessary means, but also all the faculties needed for the development of human beings. And the word Raheem means that when humans make proper use of these means and faculties bestowed upon them, God not only rewards their labors, but also inspires them with a desire for further good actions, thus opening unending avenues of progress and development for them. So again, the process of evolution, that is guided evolution, not the blind evolution that is typically taught in schools, is implied here when we look at the attributes of Rabb, Rahman, and Raheem altogether. The attribute of Rahman signifies that God can bestow unearned favors on His creatures. Being Rahman, God can reward a person beyond his deficiencies. The attribute of Raheem, on the other hand, shows that by liberally rewarding one's labors, God creates in them a desire to repeat their good actions, repetition of good works resulting in a repetition of rewards, and so on without end. These attributes also provide a glimpse of the hereafter, a concept that is very important in the Quran and will be discussed in much detail in the future. The Islamic belief is that as the next life is also a creation of God, the attribute of Rabb will continue to operate therein as well. A human being's spiritual progress will not end with death. On the contrary, he or she will go on doing good works in the next life as well, and God, the Raheem, will continue to reward those good works. In essence, the attributes of Rahman and Raheem appear in this particular order in this chapter because after establishing God as the Rabbul Alameen, or the Lord of all the worlds, it lays out the process of development of a human being as prescribed by God. That is, while Rahman points to how God provides human beings with the necessary faculties for development, Raheem points to how God rewards human beings and instills within them a desire to further perform good works when they utilize those faculties in the correct manner. So, whereas the attribute of Rabb, or Lord, points to the fact that Allah is the creator and sustainer of everything, the attributes of Rahman, translated as gracious, and Raheem, translated as merciful, point to how that creation and sustenance happen in the form of bounties from the Lord. These two attributes of Rahman and Raheem help to give a comprehensive picture of the bounties of the Creator. Rahman, which indicates bounties that are provided without any effort on the part of the creation, and Raheem, which indicates bounties that are provided as a result of the effort on the part of creation. Well, that is the end of the episode for today. The sources for our content are the short and 5-volume commentaries published by Islam International Publications, references to both of which you can find in the show notes. Thank you and stay safe. Hope you enjoyed today's session and learned something new in the process. Remember, this content is available both in audio format as a podcast and in video format as a YouTube channel. In either case, just search for Quran Study for Non-Muslims. Also, for more information or to get in touch with us, visit our website at qs4nm.com, which is short for Quran Study for Non-Muslims.